United States. And the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to skip down to item 1.4. We will be asking a motion and a second to approve the February agenda setting meeting minutes.
Okay, but we do have a moment of silence.
Oh, we do have one. Oh, I
Yes.
apologize.
So can we stand for the moment of silence?
At this time, we're asking for a moment of silence to extend our condolences to the family of Marilyn Prentice, former teacher at Edgewood STEAM Academy. She passed away on March 5th. Please bow your heads in her remembrance. Thank you, and thank you, Teresa, for catching that. Okay, now we can move on for the roll call for the February agenda setting minutes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Scott,
Second.
second by Dr. McMillan. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Online voting session. Ms. Creech?
Thank you. I could not unmute. Thank you so much. Here, also, there's feedback coming through the audio. So I don't know if I should hang up and call back in.
I'm not sure, but is your vote yay for the acceptance of the February agenda meeting minutes?
Yes, it is yay. I'm sorry. It's yay.
That's
But there's an
okay. Thank you.
echo that's ringing through.
We're actually getting the same echo here, so it's not your phone.
Okay, thank you.
Motion carries.
Okay, item 1.5, we're asking for a motion and a second to accept the February legislative meeting minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Scott, second by Mr. Scott. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Creech?
Yay.
Thank you.
Motion carries. We had an executive session prior to the meeting. We have announcements. I'll lead off with an announcement. One of our education support professionals, D Scales, has won the Pennsylvania State Education Association ESP Employee of the Year. She's going to be recognized at the Penguins game on March 26th, and then is going to be going to New Orleans for the national event, the National Education Association, where the hope is that she's going to become a national ambassador for the education support professionals. So quick round of applause for Ms. Scales. Are there any other announcements?
Just for the public, I will be updating where we are with our masking protocol and requirements. It will remain as planned. And just to touch base with it, I will send something home with parents at the beginning of next week in regards to the following week. So just that'll be coming out.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hawthorne, are there any presentations?
One moment, please. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
I'm too much. No, I don't believe we have any presentations.
No presentations. Do we have any registered speakers?
Yes, we do.
That we announced those last week. Yeah, thank you.
I just left them on there because they didn't occur yet. So just as a reminder, they could be announced again.
Oh, that's okay. What the discussion was, we have the Race for Grace coming up next week or next month in at Norland High School. And the Micah Graham basketball tournament is coming up as well. So we had announced that last week. Just reminding everybody this week. Okay, thank you. Do we have any registered speakers?
Yes, Miss Abigail Salisbury, Swissvale Councilwoman.
Good evening.
Hello, thank you for having me. Salisbury, like the steak that they feed you in the high school cafeteria.
Okay, thank
Absolutely.
you.
So hi, I bring greetings from Swissvale Borough Council. I am here to make you aware of and hope that you will repeat to students an opportunity that we have in our borough. I'm not sure if some of the other boroughs have it, but we've adopted Pennsylvania's junior council member program. So we started this in 2020. And basically what it is we look for students who would like to, during the school year or during the summer, if they'd like, participate in local government processes. So unlike you, we don't meet in person anymore. So it's actually a lot easier because you can just follow us on Zoom when it's live streamed. Since our council chambers collapsed 2 years ago, we meet through Zoom. So count your blessings. But essentially the junior council member program allows students either in high school or in college actually to participate by listening to meetings. They're able to attend committee meetings if they have a particular burning desire to come to the Department of Public Works or something like that. They're welcome to do that. And that way they can learn a little bit about local government, how things are done. Of course, they don't get a vote, as a junior council member, but it does allow them to learn a little bit more. If they want it to be, it could be even almost like an internship type of an opportunity. So it's a statewide program and you can adopt it in your borough through resolution. We passed that resolution in Swissvale. So we'd be happy to have anybody from the Woodland Hills School District who would like to participate. Normally we've accepted people from Swissvale only, but if we have people from Woodland Hills and in any of the communities, we'd be happy to allow them to participate. Like I said, it's virtual, so they don't even have to come to the community building. If they're, of course, welcome to do so if they would like, what's left of it. So thank you. Do
Okay.
you have any questions for me or?
I will relay this to our high school administrators tomorrow to spread that message. The contact, should they just contact the Swissvale Borough Manager if they're interested?
Yeah, they can just call the borough office.
Okay.
So it's Sarah Ansel is our secretary there. So she, or executive assistant, I should say. And so she will answer the phone and then I can get in touch with the person as well to let them know what's required and that sort of thing.
Thank you.
That's great.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Any
Yes,
other registered speakers?
Mr. Kenneth Maury.
Good evening. I would share my experience with Woodland Hills first before I address concerns about Dr. Dan. I spent 15 years in this district. In fact, I was in this building 43 years ago. There are a lot of great students coming out of here, and I've been very proud of the product. My daughters attended, both college graduates. My son-in-law received his PhD. They were always involved. They had excellent teachers. I still see Mr. Lee Schaefer back there. He's been here forever, so we got to get a statue up for him. Then I went to North Allegheny and spent 17 years as a lead teacher up there. My general feeling is that kids are kids. Some kids have more than others, as you know. But I think the services that are offered here at Woodland Hills, I think we have to get children to take advantage of because they're here. I'm here to speak on behalf of Dr. Stagna, and I did write a few things down because I wanted, can I take this off?
Yes.
Thank you. I want to speak on his behalf because I had the pleasure of working with Dan for over 10 years while he was an administrator and then superintendent of West Mifflin Area School District. After I retired, I went to Point Park University, and Dan was kind enough to accept many of our students into the West Mifflin School District as student teachers, interns, and so forth. Most of these young men and women met with success. Some are actually in administration right now. And a lot of that credit has to go to Dan for providing the opportunity. I know there were districts that shunned student teachers and interns. Dan did not. That always made an impression, a positive impression upon me. For 10 years, I worked with Dan, and one thing that he did that really stood out, he was president of Phi Delta Kappa, which is an educational, organization nationally. And Dan, on his own time, volunteered to work with teachers throughout the county, students, giving him himself, as I said, was strictly a volunteer. And a lot of students were turned on by education and decided to enter the field. And I think, once again, I think Dan has a lot to do with that, and he should be given credit for that. Two things that really stand out, and there are many, many good things that I can talk about all night with Dan, but two items that really stand out. When Duquesne School District opted to rid the senior highs of their students, many districts did not want to take the students from the senior high, okay? Dan did. And within a few years, those students were assimilated into the West Mifflin School District and have done very well. Okay, not an easy experience, but he made it work. And as I said, other districts, for their own reasons, decided not to partake of that. So that really is a great thing. He provided a healthy environment for those students, even though it's a neighboring district, Duquesne and West Mifflin. It was very comfortable in the transition, and they've done well. The next thing and the last thing I'd like to talk about is the community day that West Mifflin would sponsor, and Dan really was the impetus behind that. Once a year, students, teachers, parents, professional staff would meet at West Mifflin. And it provided the opportunity for students and teachers to meet with parents and to interact. And the great thing about this is that all the students were recognized. Parents had a chance to interact with teachers. It was just a great, great experience, okay? Because I've been in districts where teachers, professional staff never see the parents, okay? So he developed a good rapport between professional staff and the community. And that's ongoing. That was always a highlight, the community day at West Mifflin. There are many similarities, in my opinion, between West Mifflin and Woodland Hills. And when I found out that Dr. Castagna was appointed the acting superintendent, I was thrilled. One good example that you may want to keep in mind, a few weeks ago, the West Mifflin Education Association attended a board meeting. There were a couple hundred teachers there, headed by the head of the West Mifflin Education Association. I guess they're not too happy with their administration and with the superintendent, but in any case, at the end of the meeting, all the teachers rose and chanted, "We want to rehire Dr. Castagna." Now, that says a lot because he had a great working relationship with the staff, okay? He was very concerned about the progress and the health of the students. He interacted with the individual schools. He was very supportive. His door was always open. And when I saw those teachers get up, a tear came to my eye because not many superintendents get that credit, but Dan was most deserving of that. He did so many good things for West Mifflin. He went through the ranks. He's young. The energy is obvious. I have a daughter just as old as Dan. Okay. I think you need someone like that in this district. Every district has its challenges. Okay. But Dan has had the experience. He's worked in a district that's very similar to Woodland Hills. And I have no doubt if given an opportunity to be a full-time superintendent here, he would do quite well. And I don't think you have to look much further. I know when I was at North Allegheny, they had a national search for a superintendent that we had for almost 12 years, Dr. Larry Bazoma. And when Larry left, They spent a couple $100,000 to go out nationally to look for a superintendent. And we had a man right there. Okay. So you have the talent, you have the energy, you have the, interest, and here's the man right here. So please give him consideration. I know he'll do a fantastic job, and God bless all of you, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you.
Are there any other registered speakers?
No, there aren't.
That's it. Moving on to board matters, Dr. Castagna.
Lawson joined it.
7:35.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
You want to reach tab, right? You don't want to do a whole agenda.
Yeah.
Automatic by consent.
Yeah, 2.2.
Okay.
And then now, Kate, and then.
Okay, moving on to item 2.2. And Dr. Moore, thank you so much for those kind words. We're going to ask for the board to approve that we approve all agenda items now by consent. If there are any items the board would like to pull from that consent vote and individually roll call, we can do so. I will say that out of our executive session discussion, I will have two separate items under new business that we discussed in executive that I have to bring up that we will individually roll call on. So the board, anyone want to take a moment and decide if there's anything you want to pull?
Do we need to do a vote on 2.1?
2.1, we voted on last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything with the stars, we voted on last Wednesday.
Dr. Stagna, maybe to make it a little bit easier, I think that for new business, are we going to take all of them? Because they were just been added to the agenda recently, so.
Yes.
When it take, so I would be, would someone maybe make a motion to pass by consent items, and we won't go through the ones we passed before. 2.2 to 2.4, 3.2 to 3.5, 6.1, 6.2, 7.17 to 7.4, 9.1, 10.1 to 10.8, 12.1 and 12.2, 14.2 to 14.8, and 15.1. I'd make that, thank you.
Moved by Ms. Scott,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Curry. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Creech?
Yes.
Ms. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan Day?
Yes.
Dr. McMillan?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Belmont?
Yes.
Do we accept Ms. Keeler's resignation? I was on there. So Ms. Keeler, we want to congratulate you on your new appointment at the Gateway School District. Thank you for your many dedicated years of service here and handling the PIMS, which is such a difficult, evolving and growing matter. So we will use you as a lifeline. Whether you like it or not, we're going to make Mr. Wilson call you if we can't get on. But congratulations and best of luck to you at the Gateway School District. And thank you again for all you've done here.
Is there a motion to accept Ms. Keeler's resignation?
Motion.
Who moved it? Ms. Reed moved it.
Mhm.
Dr. McMillan second. Are there any comments? I'll say thank you as well, Ms. Keeler, for your years of dedication here and the job you've done. I am eternally grateful for that. Thank you. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Creech?
Yes.
Ms. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan Day?
Yes.
Dr. McMillan?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Belmont?
Yes.
Okay, under new business, there are 4 items. We will individually roll call and then we will be adding a 5th. So first, asking for a motion and a second, seeking permission to approve resolution 565.22 for the furlough, non-renewal of professional teaching staff and support positions for the 22-23 school year. Again, there are no recommended cuts or furloughs at this time. This is just a safeguard in case this comes up as future discussions evolve.
If I may add some, Dr. Stagna,
Mhm.
has, when did this get put on the agenda?
A couple days ago.
Okay, so since it's been on more than 24 hours, we can vote on that. The rest of them, I think, will just do that agenda change all at one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. McMillan. Second by Mr. Scott. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Online voting is open. Ms. Creech,
Yes.
Ms. Lawson,
Yes.
thank you.
The second was by Mr. Scott.
Okay, I'll change it
No
before.
problem. Motion carries.
Yeah, so we're gonna do next grade and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roll call to add it. Okay.
Yeah, so what we want to do next is someone make the motion first to change the agenda to formally add item 17.2 to 17.4. Then in addition to that, there's a 17.5, Dr. Stagna.
Yes, we will be asking for approval for Dr. White's WOA cyber pay to be adjusted to $38 per hour to go into effect immediately.
So moved.
Moved by Ms.
Second. Second,
Yeah. Ms. Creech.
Ms. Creech.
Ms. Creech seconded. Thank you. Is there any comments or questions?
And since this is new to the agenda, is there any public comments to these?
Seeing no public comment. Roll call, please.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Creech,
Yes.
Ms. Lawson,
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan Bay,
Yes.
Dr. McMillan,
Yes.
Ms. Curry,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Belmont.
Yes. Motion carries.
Yes.
Okay, now the items are officially on the agenda. This four you see there, and then the additional one concerning Dr. White. So we'll ask for a consent to approve all items under new business 17.1 through 17.5. We need a roll call vote.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Scott.
Second.
Second by
Creech.
Ms. Creech. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Creech,
Yes.
Ms. Lawson,
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan, Mr. Flanagan Bay,
Yes.
Dr. McMillan,
Yes.
Ms. Curry,
Yes.
Mr. Scott, Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Belmont.
Yes.
Okay, before we move on, Mr. Roxmore is here. I just want to congratulate you. Your junior combine was approved June 20th this year. We think it'll be something positive for the community. Students at Woodland Hills can attend for free, and he's going to host students from many other districts and give us some positive press and feedback. So thank you for the program and glad you received approval. All right, we got 18 reports. Motion and a second under reports to approve our March committee reports.
Oh, don't need to do that.
Oh, we don't have to, we did
Nope.
last one?
That's
Okay.
just informational.
That's just
Okay.
informational. That's all right.
I think that's a wrap then.
That's it. Okay. Moving on to public comment. If anybody would like to address us, please give your name, your address, and please hold your comments to 2 minutes. And please do not say anything disparaging of character about any board member or administrator.
Hi, I'm Rachel Thompson. I live in Swissvale on Schroyer Avenue. Hello, Woodland Hills School Board and Administration. I am here today to ask that the district continue with its mask requirement. I put my son Oscar in in-person schooling because I trusted that the district would keep its masking requirement until the pandemic is stable and everyone can be fully vaccinated. I'm sorry to hear that the district is considering lifting its mask mandate. Please consider the following, and I'm happy to provide citations on any of this. Universal masking is 50 times more effective than one-way masking. The BA.2 variant is quickly rising in Europe and is 30% more contagious than Omicron. Historically, waves in the US have lagged Europe by about 2 weeks. Wastewater monitoring is the best early warning we have, and COVID detection has already increased in recent weeks in many places in the US. Unfortunately, Allegheny County is not reporting wastewater monitoring to the CDC, so we won't know when we are in a wave until it's already spread like wildfire. Despite some claims that COVID is already endemic, it does not meet that standard. New dangerous variants are still emerging, waves are frequent, and hospitals in many places are overwhelmed. So it is not in the endemic stage yet. I look forward to a stable future, but we aren't there yet. Children under 5 cannot be vaccinated, and many children in our district live with children under 4 and/or family members who are high risk. Alex, the youngest member of our blended family, cannot be vaccinated yet, and removing the mask mandate would put him at risk. Children in our district are at increased risk of asthma and other breathing problems due to our area having some of the worst air quality in the country. This means that our kids are at higher risk of severe COVID outcomes. My son Oscar has asthma. Even if death is unlikely for most members of our community, long-lasting disability is not. More data is emerging that the dangers of long COVID, with some estimates as high as 43% of those infected with COVID have symptoms beyond 6 months, from lung problems to debilitating chronic fatigue to invisible heart conditions, even for seemingly mild cases in otherwise healthy people. And it isn't clear yet how much vaccines protect against long COVID. Please protect our kids and our families from the next very foreseeable outbreak. I want to trust that Woodland Hills can make the right decision based on facts, even if it isn't the popular decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Mr. Wilson, is there anybody on Zoom? Nobody on Zoom. Okay, seeing no further public comment, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Moved by Dr. McMillan, second by Ms. Creech. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.